serious violation of animal protection laws discovered in new rare mets, Finland. Abandoned Saukonpuisto School catches fire in Tampere. Updates on Eagle S and alleged undersea cable sabotage. 2 Jämsänkoski students under surveillance after threats of violence. On New Year's Eve, Finnish police discovered over 100 dogs in poor health being transported in a truck in Nurmes, North Karelia. About half of the dogs had to be euthanized due to their incurable condition. The police are continuing their investigation and have seized additional dogs from other locations in the region. The case involves 3 German women, 2 of whom are mother and daughter. They are suspected of involvement in a similar incident near the Swedish border in 2023. The Finnish Kennel Club has expressed concern that this may represent a new trend of unethical dog breeding and transportation practices. They urge buyers to thoroughly verify the origin and registration of pets to avoid supporting such inhumane activities. The Eastern Finland Police Department is expected to release further details on the case next week. On the afternoon of Monday, January 6th, a major fire broke out at the abandoned Saukonpuisto School on Kaupinkata Street in Tampere. According to the Pirkanmaa Rescue Department, the fire was brought under control by around 6:30 p.m., but cleanup efforts continued for several hours afterward. Fortunately, no injuries were reported, and the fire did not spread to nearby buildings. The fire was reported to authorities at 3 p.m. when a passerby noticed flames and smoke rising from the building. More than 20 firefighting units were deployed to the scene to extinguish the blaze. Police suspect arson, as the fire spread unusually quickly and no natural cause has been identified. Witnesses reported seeing 2 teenagers, approximately 16 to 17 years old, attempting to open the building's doors near the scene shortly before the fire erupted. Authorities are urging other witnesses or anyone with information about the incident to contact them via email. An investigation into the tanker Eagle S is underway amid suspicions that the vessel severed critical electrical and data cables on the seabed. On January 6th, the Swedish Navy used the rescue ship HMS Bellows to retrieve the anchor of Eagle S in the Gulf of Finland, where a trench spanning tens of kilometers was discovered on the seabed. Experts are conducting a technical analysis of the anchor to clarify the cause of the incident. The Finnish Central Criminal Police, KRP, suspects that Eagle S damaged the Estlink 2 power cable connecting Finland and Estonia, along with 4 other data cables, during Christmas 2024. 8 crew members are accused of serious sabotage and disrupting communications. The involved countries have requested the courts to confiscate the vessel to ensure compensation for damages, estimated in the millions of euros. Meanwhile, NATO has increased its presence in the Baltic Sea to safeguard critical infrastructure. Enhanced ship monitoring using artificial intelligence is being deployed to minimize the risk of similar sabotage incidents. The Finnish Transport and Communications Agency, Traficom, detained Eagle S in Porvoo after identifying 32 serious safety violations during a port inspection. According to Traficom's maritime director, Sanna Saarinen, 3 of these issues, fire safety, navigation equipment, and ventilation systems, were severe enough to warrant an immediate halt to operations. Other violations include problems with electrical systems, vessel structure, and crew living conditions. Traficom has mandated that all issues be resolved before the ship can leave Finland. The vessel, with 24 crew members aboard, may need to relocate to another port for extensive repairs if necessary. Eagle S is also under scrutiny for its alleged involvement in the Baltic cable incidents. The ship's owner, a Dubai-registered company, is not currently on any international sanctions lists. Prime Minister Petteri Orpo has summoned party leaders and parliamentary group representatives to Smolna for updates on regional security concerns. Key topics include the Baltic Sea cable incidents, Russia's Ghost Fleet, the eastern border, and the situation in Ukraine. Orpo emphasized that Russia's Ghost Fleet presents a significant security threat in the Baltic Sea, both endangering stability and financially supporting the war in Ukraine. He called for strengthened cooperation among the EU, NATO, and Baltic countries to address these challenges. Regarding Ukraine, Orpo reiterated the need for continued support to ensure the country maintains leverage in peace negotiations. He also expressed concern over the policies of newly inaugurated U.S. President Donald Trump, particularly amid global security uncertainties. A NATO summit focusing on Baltic security is scheduled to take place in Helsinki next week to further discuss these pressing issues. 2 students from Jämsänkoski High School made online threats to carry out a knife attack targeting 3 individuals, a teacher and 2 students, shortly after the Christmas break. Police informed Principal Antti Manninen of the incident on January 6th, prompting the school to hold an emergency meeting with the students and their parents. The 2 students expressed remorse for their actions, while their parents were visibly distressed and saddened. The students were allowed to return to school the following day under strict supervision. They are required to meet the principal every morning for a bag check and study in a monitored area separate from other students. Police believe the threats may have been motivated by hostility. Authorities are also investigating the negative influence of online communities, such as Discord, on teenagers. The school has assured parents and students that it is maintaining a safe environment and continues to closely monitor the situation. The fire generated large amounts of smoke that were hazardous to health, prompting authorities to issue a danger warning at 1 a.m. on Sunday. By 4:30 a.m., the danger was reported to have passed. A 5-story residential building near the scene was evacuated, with all 65 residents moved to a nearby multi-purpose center for safety. According to emergency services, no one suffered health issues due to the smoke. This large fire required the deployment of 22 firefighting units. The shopping center, covering an area of about 3,500 square meters, was completely destroyed. The cause of the fire has not yet been determined, and the police are investigating. Notably, this is not the first time the center has caught fire. A similar incident occurred back in 1999. Minister of Labor Arturo Satonen and Helsinki Mayor Juhana Vartiainen have embarked on a working visit to the Philippines and Vietnam to promote labor recruitment for Finland. The trip aligns with the government's agenda to address labor shortages in sectors such as healthcare, hospitality, services, and industry. The visit has faced criticism from Finn's party leader Jani Mäkelä, who argued that attracting foreign workers is inappropriate given Finland's ongoing wave of domestic layoffs. However, Satonen emphasized that the primary goal is to build long-term cooperation to secure a sustainable and high-quality workforce for the future. The Finnish government has assured that international recruitment will be conducted ethically and transparently, with measures to help foreign workers integrate into Finnish society. These measures include language training and improving working conditions to ensure stability for the incoming labor force. The Federation of Finnish Industries and Industrial Employers reconvened on Monday afternoon after a 3-week break in labor agreement negotiations. However, the meeting lasted only a few hours without achieving any progress. Rico Aalto, president of the Federation of Finnish Industries, announced on Platform X that the negotiations would resume on Thursday at Eteläranta. He noted that this session did not bring any significant improvements. The main disagreement remains focused on wages. The Federation is demanding a 10% salary increase over 2 years, while industrial employers have deemed this demand unrealistic. Jyrki Ruohoniemi, CEO of Industrial Employers, emphasized that both sides must significantly narrow their differences to reach a feasible solution. In December, the Federation organized a 6-day strike that affected over 200 companies in the technology sector. Recently, it issued another strike notice targeting 50 additional companies, including those in the chemical industry. The negotiations over the technology labor agreement, which began in September, have seen little progress. Strikes are being used as leverage to accelerate the process, but the deadlock continues. Further talks are scheduled to continue under national mediation next Monday. Laughing gas, Ilokarsu, is now sold in 640-gram canisters in Finland, leading to widespread misuse in large quantities. Aratori, a former user, shared his experience of severe physical and mental issues caused by excessive consumption. Initially, he used laughing gas during social events with friends but gradually escalated to using 4 to 6 canisters daily, spending most of his time in an uncontrolled state. As a result, Aratori suffered memory loss, motor disorders, and panic-inducing hallucinations. According to medical experts at HUS Neurocenter, abusing laughing gas disrupts the function of vitamin B12, causing severe nerve damage. Common symptoms include loss of balance, reduced sensation, difficulty walking, and even paralysis if left untreated. Although laughing gas remains legal in Finland, doctors warn that excessive use can lead to serious and potentially irreversible consequences. Aratori hopes his story serves as a lesson, urging people to recognize the hidden dangers of this substance. Avoid laughing gas to protect your health and well-being. The Meritat organization has initiated the Parempi Vaara project to equip rural residents in South Karelia, Kymenlaakso, and North Karelia with emergency preparedness skills. The project focuses on guiding communities on handling crises such as prolonged power outages, water supply disruptions, or distribution delays caused by strikes. Tuisa Vainikka, director of Meritat in southeast Finland, emphasized the importance of readiness, including maintaining a 72-hour home reserve to improve crisis response capabilities. Essential items include drinking water, non-perishable food, flashlights, backup batteries, and basic medical supplies. The initiative addresses the growing demand for information, especially after the COVID-19 pandemic and global instability due to the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Running until the end of 2026, the project is supported by local organizations and funded with €345,000 from the Center for Economic Development, ELY. Meritat aims to raise community awareness and strengthen self-protection measures in emergencies through this effort. Finnish Prime Minister Petteri Orpo has not ruled out the possibility of utilizing EU joint debt to fund defense projects. In an interview, he emphasized that such funding should focus on critical areas for Europe's defense, such as Finland, the Baltics, and Poland, rather than Western or Southern Europe. However, the Finns party, a coalition partner, reacted cautiously. Jani Mäkelä, the party's parliamentary group chair, expressed doubts about EU countries reaching an agreement and raised concerns that joint debt might come with conditions, such as mandatory procurement from EU weapons manufacturers. PM Orpo also sought to reassure concerns over Donald Trump's controversial statements as he potentially prepares to return to the U.S. presidency, highlighting the importance of EU cooperation amid global political uncertainty. Additionally, Orpo called for a thorough investigation into allegations surrounding the Eagle-S ship, reportedly part of Russia's Shadow Fleet, and its suspected involvement in sabotaging Baltic infrastructure. EU Digital Commissioner Henna Virkkunen has announced that the European Union may impose significant penalties on Elon Musk's social media platform X if it fails to comply with the bloc's regulations. In recent weeks, Musk has stirred controversy within the EU by openly criticizing European politicians and interviewing divisive figures such as Alice Weidel, vice chair of Germany's far-right AfD party. Virkkunen stressed that social media platforms must avoid posing systemic risks to democracy and elections in Europe. She stated, "EU respects freedom of speech, but platforms must ensure fairness and safety in the digital space. X is currently under EU investigation to determine its level of legal compliance. Any violations could result in substantial financial penalties." In addition, the EU plans to meet with major tech companies in January to discuss their roles in preventing election interference within the region. Virkkunen affirmed that the EU will fully enforce its laws to uphold transparency and accountability in the digital sphere. Although the Finland-Russia border has been closed for over a year due to the war in Ukraine, sanctioned goods, including high-tech equipment and luxury items, are still being transported to Russia. According to Finland's customs authority, over 900 violations related to sanctions have been investigated since the outbreak of the conflict, with dozens of cases prosecuted in court. Serious violations often involve organized efforts to transport battlefield-related equipment, such as drones and electronic components. Despite the border closure in 2024, smuggling operations continue through alternative routes, including via the Baltics, Europe, or Asia. Perpetrators frequently disguise goods or declare false destinations to evade detection. Hannu Sinkinen, Director of Customs Oversight, stated that violations remain frequent, posing significant challenges to controlling the flow of goods. Defense Minister Antti Häkkänen has assured that Finland will maintain its collaboration with the U.S., even if policies under the new administration change. In an interview, Häkkänen stated that President-elect Donald Trump's remarks should be assessed carefully, but without undue concern. Recently, Trump's mention of potentially using military force to annex Greenland drew international attention. Häkkänen emphasized that relations between Denmark and Greenland are Denmark's internal matter. He also noted that the U.S. has long been interested in the Arctic region due to security, economic, and resource considerations. Within NATO, Häkkänen highlighted that solidarity remains strong, with members fully aware of the challenges posed by Russia and China. The first meeting with the Trump administration is expected to clarify the future trajectory of international relations and NATO cooperation, according to Häkkänen. According to latest survey, the Social Democratic Party, SDP, remains in the lead with 23.2% support, despite a 0.8 percentage point drop. Meanwhile, Kokoomus has gained 1.2 points, reaching 20% and narrowing the gap with SDP to just 3.2 points. Tuomo Turha, research director at Economic Research, noted that Kokoomus experienced a more pronounced surge in early January, bringing its support back to levels seen during the parliamentary elections. Conversely, the strong growth SDP enjoyed at the end of last year appears to have plateaued, suggesting a ceiling to its support base. The Finns party, PS, remains stable at 14.9%, with only a slight 0.2-point decrease. Smaller parties like the Swedish People's Party, RKP, and the Christian Democrats maintain support at around 4%. Despite Kokomis's growth, the overall approval ratings for parties in Prime Minister Petteri Orpo's government remain low. Currently, many businesses have begun recruiting summer employees, with a particular focus on university students. According to surveys, approximately 110,000 summer job opportunities are expected this year, slightly up from 108,000 last year, but still below the over 130,000 positions seen during periods of strong economic growth. Lada Viljama, an expert from Dunatori, noted that industries such as manufacturing, technology, commerce, healthcare, and social care have the highest demand for workers. Positions requiring less experience typically open later in the season, between March and May. Many students are actively searching for summer jobs, aiming to find positions relevant to their fields of study. Antti Suonimi, a business student at Hagahilia, said, "I hope to find a job in accounting or office work this year." Meanwhile, Vilja Ruotsala, an international business student, shared that she is broadening her search to increase her chances. Mikko Vieltojarvi from the Confederation of Finnish Industries, IKE, emphasized that summer jobs not only provide students with valuable experience, but also offer businesses opportunities to identify and nurture talent. There is hope that economic conditions will improve, creating more job opportunities for young people. The city of Vanna has launched specialized vocational training programs to support unemployed individuals in finding jobs. This initiative is part of a national employment service reform expected to create 7,000 to 10,000 new jobs. Pekka Torjanen, principal of Varia Vocational School, stated that these tailored training courses aim to enhance skills and improve employment opportunities for 600 to 1,000 people this year. The programs range from a few weeks to 6 months and focus on areas such as logistics, commerce, and airport services. Since the start of 2024, responsibility for unemployed individuals has shifted from national TE offices to municipalities. In Vantaa, this reform allows the city to adapt employment services to meet the needs of local businesses and the labor market. In addition to skill development, this initiative is expected to attract new investments to the region, boosting economic growth and reducing unemployment rates. Recently, teachers at a prestigious secondary school in Espoo have expressed concerns about a troubling shift in behavior among male students in grades 7 to 9. Many have started displaying anti-feminist views, homophobia, and racism. This trend is believed to be influenced by Andrew Tate, a former kickboxing champion and controversial social media figure. Tate promotes the image of the strong man, emphasizing male physicality and dominance while undermining the role of women. In classroom discussions, Tate's ideas have been divisive. Some students support them, while others strongly oppose them, calling them outdated. However, these debates often become difficult as some male students attempt to impose their views and reject open dialogue. Principal Teemu Salin remarked, "Encouraging students to engage in constructive debate has become almost impossible these days." This situation highlights the urgent need for quality education and open discussions to guide young minds toward positive and inclusive thinking. Currently, only 3% of adults in Finland donate blood annually. According to Johanna Kastrin, Director of Blood Services at the Finnish Red Cross, the number of blood donors is steadily declining, placing significant pressure on the healthcare system amid increasingly complex security and medical challenges. Kastrin emphasized that blood donation is not just an act of charity, but also a form of preparedness. By donating blood a few times a year, you can contribute to a critical reserve for emergencies. However, fewer new donors are registering compared to those who stop donating. Finland needs at least 20,000 new blood donors annually to meet future demands, but only around 18,000 registered in 2024. Currently, the majority of regular donors are young women, but experts are urging more men to participate, as their physiology often allows for more frequent donations. Expanding the diversity of the donor base is also essential to ensure a reliable supply for rare blood types.